Are brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible and catch Conan tonight with Ryan Reynolds after MLB postseason coverage only on TBS. Well, the first year the stadium opened in 2009, the Yankees went all the way to the World Series, a World Series title that year, and they're hoping to keep those hopes alive in 2011, facing elimination for the second consecutive game. The Tigers are up 2-0. Alex Rodriguez leads off. Doug Fister, a quick first inning, 3 up and 3 down with a strikeout.
Rodriguez had 2 hits in that 8th inning when the New York Yankees batted around. See if it translates to this game.
There's a lot of Yankee bats that got healthy in that big inning for the Yankees in Detroit. It was a 10-1 final score. It was a 6-run 8th inning on 7 hits. The 6'8" Doug Fister. He's 27 years of age. Played his college ball at Fresno State. Began the year with the Seattle Mariners.
Interesting sequence of pitches there, John. Pounded him in with that fastball and then came back with a changeup in the same spot.
When you pound somebody in, they're trying to speed their bat up. And so when they're trying to speed their bat up, you slow it down with the changeup. The reason I think this series, beyond just the fact that it's in Game 5, is so intriguing for me is that the relentless Yankees and their patience, because they've been there, done that so many times. You got the young players of the Tigers going there for the first time, and that tension causes you to just be a little bit too aggressive. Like the Yankees have struggled offensively till last game. There's no panic. I mean, they just know how to be in this moment. You got the veteran Rivera at the end of the game and a guy who was perfect for the Tigers in their bullpen, but still not the experience factor. And so each team's trying to put themselves in the best situation to win the game. And right now Detroit's got the early edge.
And a strike called outside corner as Fister rings up Alex Rodriguez.
Well, as you mentioned it, Ron, a lot of pitches were down in the zone. And he got the benefit here of going in for effect, getting the call here for the slow slider, and then going back in, getting the foul ball, and then the changeup, which allowed that rhythm to be changed. Gets a good fastball in, and then again the effect to get him out of the way. Beautiful job.
That is the definition of painting by a pitcher, as Doug Fister picks up his second strikeout, facing Mark Teixeira with one away. Teixeira in this series is 2 for 15. Has just one at-bat as a right-handed hitter. Most of his at-bats have come against a lefty. The Tigers do not have any left-handed starters in their rotation as Teixeira rips that one. That is headed for the gap. And a one-hopper out of here. A ground rule double for Mark Teixeira. So the first Yankees hit comes with one out in the second inning.
Interesting about that hit, the second double for Teixeira in this series, is that his bat has been a little slow. So the changeup thrown there by Fister right into his alley. One hop over the fence. Nice play by Hughes. Just right on that changeup. That was well placed away from Teixeira. Good play coverage.
And now Teixeira in scoring position for Nick Swisher. See the numbers on Swisher. His one home run came here at Yankee Stadium. And he takes a strike from Fister, and a lot of questioning of the home plate umpire Ted Barrett early by the Yankees hitters.
Well, Ted Barrett so far has had a very aggressive strike zone.
Right here, Swish could help himself. He has not been very good with runners in scoring position early on.
Yeah, that first hit came in Game 4, the first hit of his postseason career. Nick Swisher now 1 for 29 with runners in scoring position. With men on base, he is 4 for 48 in his postseason career. Has a chance to put the Yankees on the board. He gets jammed on a hop to Peralta. And there is out number 2. Teixeira has to stay put. Now Pfister, don't be fooled by his numbers in his appearance in Game 1, which was technically a relief appearance. 4 2/3 innings, he gave up 7 hits and 6 earned runs. That looks like a bad outing, but really the Robinson Cano grand slam home run, those were Pfister's runs, 3 of the 4. Pfister pitched pretty well that game until that 6th inning.
Well, Jorge Posada has probably been their most consistent bat in this series. He's reached base 9 times, 4 hits, 4 walks, and a hit by pitch.
Posada with 2 outs. And he swings away on the first pitch. Posada is having a good series. He's 4 for 10. He's walked 4 times. He's been hit by a pitch. On base 9 times through the first 4 games of this series. And John, you talk about experience. Jorge Posada, his 15th year performing in a postseason, has 124 postseason games on his register.
And some of those outs, he had great at bats. I think of all the Yankees, arguably he's had some of the best at bats, best approach, seeing the ball.
Strike from Pfister. It's 1 and 2 on Posada. .25 pitches for Pfister. Very economical in the first. Yankees have done a lot of damage with 2 outs in this series. They've scored 12 2-out runs so far through the first 4 games. And down he goes. Pfister strikes out Posada. 2 called strike 3s in the 2nd inning. 3 strikeouts total. 2-0 Tigers. Tigers get back-to-back solo homers in the first inning. Don Kelly and Delman Young. And our 2 pitchers, Ron and John, said it would be a short leash, and was it ever for Ivan Nova. Phil Hughes is in the game to start the 3rd inning for the Yankees.
Yeah, Phil Hughes had a little issues late in the season with his back, coming out of relief, threw the ball extremely well in the 1 inning. And then, of course, everybody a little bit shocked of the early departure. Maybe Cabrera saying, well, what happened?
He's like, why is Hughes coming in? We weren't done with Nova yet.
Interesting reaction by the big Tiger slugger. So Girardi with the quick hook. Top of the order coming up. Austin Jackson for the Tigers. Phil Hughes was very impressive on Tuesday, and he had his velocity back. I think as the Yankees watch Phil Hughes, Girardi and pitching coach Larry Rothschild, when they see the life on his fastball, and they feel pretty good about where he is. He's been battling back problems this year. Late in the season, had back spasms, unable to put his way into the starting rotation down the stretch. But here he is coming out of the bullpen, trying to bridge some innings for the Yankees.
I thought he was a big key this year for the Yankees, and I know it didn't go the way he wanted it or the Yankees, because I think he is a solid pitcher that hasn't yet found what he's really capable of doing. They limited the innings, and I think in this situation, obviously, he's got to eat up some innings. But I think in the future for the Yankees, it's real important to get Phil Hughes back in their rotation.
Don't forget, it was Hughes who played such an important role in 2009 out of the bullpen, made 9 appearances that October.
And a strike called. Down goes Jackson. Phil Hughes strikes out the Tigers' leadoff hitter in the third.
Just a great fastball that stays down. Looks like it might even be low. It stays on plane. 94 miles an hour. And I think for Joe Girardi, he's looking for a little more mix and match out of Phil Hughes. Power fastball. Get the hitters a little bit more off balance than what they were early on against Nova.
Can't get too opposite of pitchers. Nova with that big arm action, and Hughes throws almost more like a catcher with that short arm action.
Don Kelly homered in the first, put the Tigers on the board. Hughes, good life on the fastball already, coming right out of the bullpen in the low to mid 90s. An 18-game winner last year as a starter for the Yankees. Won just 5 this season. And a swing and a miss. Phil Hughes with back-to-back strikeouts.
There's a lot of things that can get your team going. A fine defensive play, getting some hits, but also a reliever coming in and shutting down the opposition can give your team a lift also.
Now, this does not figure a game that 2 runs is going to win it. It has a feel with these two big offenses, and the Tigers are often running early. After the Kelly home run, it was Delmon Young who launched one, no doubter, into left field. His 3rd home run of this series. 3 of his 5 hits have gone out of the ballpark. Tigers got him from the Twins on August 15th. Talking to Jim Leland, one of the main reasons why the Tigers wanted Young is because of his great finish for the Minnesota Twins a season ago, as Hughes narrowly misses off the corner. And Young rips one to right. Back is Swisher, and he looks up. It's off the wall. Swisher will hold Young to a single. Delmon Young, red hot in this ALDS, and 2 for 2 tonight.
Product of being a 3-1 count. He'd been staying away from him all at bat. He just picked on a good fastball. It's not a bad pitch. He's strong enough to go the other way, a little more lift, and he'd have another home run.
Well, he might have the best protection in this series with Miguel Cabrera hitting behind him.
Now, Delmon Young, not a typical 3-hole hitter in this lineup. You figure Cabrera would be that guy, but Leland has Cabrera in the protection position with Delmon Young. He sees a lot of strikes, and he does a lot with them. So here is Cabrera with 2 away, and he's swinging away at the first pitch.
You know, a lot of people might be at home going, I wonder why he went to that move so early. I think partly due to Phil Hughes' performance in Detroit.
Yeah.
I think that sped up the fact that we can get some innings out of Phil, buy some time, turn it over to our pen. We talked about the pen having a big impact, and not let Nova get in any more issues or troubles might be the reason we went to Phil Hughes.
Cabrera's had a lot of success against Phil Hughes, and not this time as Jeter ranges over, shovels to Cano, inning over. Phil Hughes, a scoreless third. Second pitcher of the night already for the Yankees.